Stop explaining yourself. Seriously, right now. Every time you get pulled into a pointless argument and raise your voice, you probably think you're standing your ground. You think you're asserting dominance and showing the world you can't be pushed around. Let's get one thing straight. You're mathematically and biologically wrong. Society has completely brainwashed you into believing that reacting to disrespect makes you an alpha. Let's actually break down what happens inside your skull when you snap. When someone insults your ego, your primitive amygdala doesn't know the difference between a mean comment and a physical predator. It immediately registers that social friction as a lethal threat. In milliseconds, it completely hijacks your central nervous system and shuts down your prefrontal cortex, the highly advanced part of your brain responsible for logic, strategy, and keeping you wealthy. The brutal reality: every time you lose your temper, you aren't showing strength. You are experiencing a catastrophic, irreversible system failure inside your actual brain. By the end of this breakdown, you're going to see exactly how your constant need to argue is permanently frying your neural pathways, and I'm going to hand you the exact Stoic framework the top 1% uses to remain completely untouchable in a world full of easily triggered people. You instantly revert to a terrified, primitive animal. Your hands shake, your voice gets loud, and you desperately try to prove the other person wrong. You might walk away thinking you won the debate, but your brain can't handle that extreme internal friction. You are literally burning your own hardware for a cheap ego boost. Listen to me very carefully, because this specific neuroplastic window is closing on you right now. Every single time you scream in blind anger, your brain permanently deletes its resilient Stoic pathways. The biological damage compounds hour by hour. If you click off this video, you are consciously choosing to remain a highly reactive, easily manipulated pawn. Master this clinical truth today and seal your biological leaks, or permanently surrender your cognitive autonomy to the exhausted masses. How does anger drain your cognitive battery? Let's measure your actual cognitive battery. Your brain has a strict, finite amount of daily energy. Processing intense emotional conflict is insanely expensive from a biological standpoint. Every forced argument, every shouted word, and every passive-aggressive text message completely depletes your ability to focus on high-level tasks. You are redlining your physical engine. Notice what happens when the fight is over. You don't feel victorious. You crash into a deep, agonizing exhaustion. You feel drained, empty, and completely unmotivated. That's not just fatigue, that is a severe clinical dopamine deficit. You spent all your vital neurochemistry performing for an audience that absolutely does not care about you. True elite Stoics understand this invisible drain perfectly. They hoard their cognitive bandwidth like billionaires hoard cash. Think of your mind as an impenetrable fortress. Every angry reaction you give the world is a heavy iron gate left wide open. When you constantly argue, you invite toxic intruders to rush in and steal your most valuable supplies: your focus, your drive, and your peace. By the end of the day, your fortress is looted. You have zero energy left to build your business or be present with your family. You sacrificed your future for a temporary hit of ego. This is the worst ROI possible. You are trading diamonds for absolute garbage. You have to stop giving your battery to fools. Are you strong or biologically weak? Answer this brutally honest question. Do you really believe that yelling makes you look strong? Or are you just using aggression to hide massive internal insecurity? Modern pop psychology lies to you. They publish endless articles claiming that venting your anger is healthy and that staying silent means you're weak. That is pure, unadulterated societal manipulation designed to keep you permanently exhausted and highly compliant. History proves the exact opposite. Every massive, successful leader required deep, unshakable emotional control to survive. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world and commanded lethal armies. Yet he actively ignored constant daily disrespect from corrupt politicians and angry peasants. He didn't need to scream to prove his worth because he was the absolute master of his own mind. You are not strong for yelling back at minor insults. You are biologically weak and incredibly fragile. You lack basic impulse control. Society might label you as a tough guy, but the clinical reality is you're terrified of losing your social status. You need the last word just to survive your own insecurities. You use loud anger as a transparent human shield. Don't buy into this toxic illusion for one more second. A man who never reacts to insults cannot be controlled by anyone. He operates on a vastly superior biological baseline. You will absolutely never hear this truth on mainstream media. The algorithms and modern lifestyle gurus actively profit from your outrage. They want you highly reactive, permanently angry, and easily distracted. This framework is a heavily guarded secret that the elite 1% understand intimately. They use cold, calculated silence to dominate their industries. If you miss this exact psychological architecture today, you will remain highly profitable, weak social prey. Wake up and claim your biological power right now. What happens to your nervous system when you yell? Let's look at your terrified nervous system. What exactly happens inside your body when you start screaming at a stranger in traffic? Your sympathetic nervous system violently activates. This is the primal fight-or-flight response, strictly designed for escaping apex predators in the wild. It was absolutely not designed to handle internet arguments or toxic family dinners. When you yell over meaningless issues, you trigger a massive biological false alarm. Your adrenal glands forcefully pump toxic levels of adrenaline and cortisol directly into your bloodstream. Your blood pressure spikes. Your digestion completely shuts down, and your immune system immediately drops its critical defenses. You are literally destroying your body from the inside out. You are aging your cells incredibly fast. The angry, reactive masses entirely ignore this massive physical danger. Constant yelling prevents any deep physical recovery, keeping them trapped in a permanent state of low-level panic. But when you actively choose to stay calm, you unlock an unfair health advantage. By remaining silent, your parasympathetic nervous system finally activates. You lower your baseline cortisol levels and enter a highly restorative, deep clinical rest state. Your biological battery recharges to maximum capacity. This isn't submission, this is highly strategic advanced neurochemical recovery. Elite athletes recover in isolation chambers. Elite minds recover through silent non-reaction. How manipulators extract your energy through anger. Toxic manipulators and narcissists absolutely love your anger. They desperately need your explosive reactions to survive. Why? Because they systematically steal your emotional supply to fill their own internal void. Narcissists require your visible frustration to validate their existence. When they subtly insult you, they deeply want you to explode. When you argue back, they study your reactions like a scientist. They carefully map your exact emotional triggers, finding your deepest childhood insecurities so they can weaponize them against you later. You are willingly handing them the entire strategic playbook to your mind. But what happens when you completely freeze? What happens when you look them dead in the eye and say absolutely nothing? You violently starve them of their psychological oxygen. You instantly deny them access to your neurochemistry. This unexpected silence drives them completely insane. They will desperately try to insult you harder. They'll call you weak, scared, or cowardly, claiming your silence means you've lost. It's a pathetic, desperate manipulation tactic. They realize they've lost their psychological grip on you. They want you back in the loud chaos because in chaos, they easily win. In the absolute cold realm of silence, they instantly lose. You currently hold the ultimate biological leverage. In any dynamic, the person who needs less validation always wins. The manipulator desperately needs your angry attention to feel powerful. You simply do not need their approval to exist. This completely flips the hidden power dynamic. You become the undeniable dominant force in the room. They cannot provoke a brick wall and they cannot manipulate an empty room. By refusing to ever argue back, you defeat them entirely without lifting a single weapon. Sun Tzu taught this ancient principle: win the fierce battle without ever fighting. Your absence of anger is your sharpest sword. The mathematical cost of your inaction today is absolute. Your profound inability to stay silent is actively destroying your future. Every toxic argument you engage in compounds your massive neurological debt. You will physically pay for this weakness with severe anxiety and a permanently shattered attention span. You have exactly 1 critical minute left to reprogram this embarrassing cognitive failure. If you ignore this blueprint, your emotional baseline will remain permanently broken. Listen very closely to these final instructions. How to build stoic fortitude and stop reacting. You must break this pathetic biological programming today. Stop confusing loud reactivity with true masculine strength. You desperately need to build an impenetrable cognitive shield to survive the modern world. Tomorrow, when someone insults your ego or tries to drag you into a verbal fight, step directly into the agonizing discomfort of silence. Refuse to attend every argument you're invited to. Ignore their disrespect without ever explaining yourself. When you stay quiet, notice the sudden, terrifying spike of anxiety in your chest. Your primitive brain will desperately want to scream and defend its fragile honor. Let that weak, primal urge die completely in the dark. Sit in absolute, uninterrupted silence and let your exhausted nervous system finally reset itself. Train your panicked amygdala to feel completely safe without needing to prove its worth. You absolutely do not need to prove anything to strangers. Your pristine, quiet internal peace is infinitely more valuable than winning a debate with a fool. Reclaim your biological dominance right now. Withdraw your valuable energy from the toxic, chaotic noise of society. Let the weak masses judge your sudden, cold silence. Their flawed, exhausted opinions do not dictate your reality. This is the peak of elite stoic fortitude. This is pure, impenetrable psychological immunity. Stop bleeding your energy for manipulators who want to see you fail. Embrace the terrifying, absolute power of non-reaction. When you skip the forced reactive matrix, you biologically win the game. You preserve your highly finite cognitive bandwidth, starting every single day incredibly rested and dangerously sharp. You have successfully hacked the system. Subscribe to successfully master your own primal psychology. Hit the bell icon right now. Check the elite resources in the pinned description below. Protect your mind from the loud, weak masses. Build your stoic shield, master your anger, and become fundamentally untouchable today.